You're about to learn how the smartest growth people on earth run systematic outbound at scale using no code that takes a couple minutes to set up but delivers hundreds of thousands of dollars in return. This is a member who made $5,000 in 7 days using sales systems, so I hopped on a call with him to give him insights about how he can deliver and make his clients happy. So I'm recording this to show you how the work is being done, so you can kind of see like my thought process and basically just copy me, so you can also make a ton of money. So let's do it. Landed 2 clients this week. Yo family, landed 2 deals this week, both with healthcare staffing agencies. 1K setup plus 250 per intro, 4K setup plus 400 per intro. For context, this is a brand new niche for me. I was working with marketing agencies before, but recruitment clearly has more money to invest. Yes, not only they have more money to invest, but it's also so easy to close. And a lot of beginners and AI freelancers that pivot into sales systems, they always go for recruitment, and they essentially just get their first client, and some even like niche down to recruitment, which is something that I've done also before. My first client, to give you guys some context, my first client was actually a recruitment agency, and after that I just learned more about the niche and essentially just went deep into it. And I have like a couple case studies within the recruitment niche. So if you're thinking about going for the recruitment niche, 100% green light, just go for it. You have my blessing. Note, what helped me a lot was a VSL I created, which goes over my process, so they are pretty much just want to know if they have the budget to work with me. Yes, a VSL, okay. This changed everything. Here's my VSL if you want to take a look. Obviously, I'm not going to share his VSL because this is how he gets his clients. Here's my script. He just shared his entire script in VSL, which I think is like the real juice of being in a community, because people just share everything, right? Don't copy word for word, obviously. Whenever you see like a good outreach message or like a good method, right? Always make sure to add your little color to it. Just tweak it slightly so it doesn't seem like you literally just copied it like he said, word for word. For anyone struggling, sometimes in life you just have to brute force your way into making things happen. Yeah, and since you are watching this, I would like to add something else. See, there are months and years where nothing happens, but only a few days, few weeks where everything happens. Ask yourself daily, what do I need to do to move the needle? Yeah, in reality, like you only need to focus on 1 to 2 things to actually get to that 10 to 15K a month. But people are just drowning in like shiny idea syndrome. They are watching YouTube tutorials about how to build this system, how to build this AI agent, this crazy AI stuff. But in reality, you gotta do outreach. Obviously, you gotta talk to a business owner, because if you're not talking to business owners, how the hell are you gonna make money, right? So like what moves the needle is basically just talking to business owners and trying to sell them what they need, which is essentially just sales systems, things that actually move the needle again for them, which is getting them more customers, more prospects, more conversations. And don't stop until it's done. Keep pushing. You've got this. I'm rooting for you all. PS SOT needs some help with fulfillment. Of course, man. So I'm gonna walk you through basically what his client does in very, very simple terms. And I'm also gonna show you the system that he's gonna have to build to actually deliver. Okay. So obviously, his client is a recruitment agency, well, specifically the mechanical and industrial and healthcare sector. So what they do is they have candidates such as nurses, clinicians that they want to place. And he'll build a system that finds those companies hiring for those nurses and clinicians, etc. Right? So it's going to be very, very straightforward. The system is going to take us probably like 15 to 20 minutes to build, because I already mapped it here, which is going to be this one. Let me zoom out. So the system is going to scrape LinkedIn. So we're going to scrape LinkedIn jobs, okay, for these roles, which are basically nurses or clinicians, okay? And then the system is going to enrich for the decision maker, which is going to be the chief nursing officer, the director of nursing, clinical manager, VP of human resources, talent acquisition manager. So if you're wondering what this logo is, this is basically like a crazy platform. It's called People Data Labs. So this platform right here, I think it's way better than Apollo in terms of like enrichment. What do I mean by enrichment? Essentially just finding people's data. This is what I mean by enrichment. Finding their emails, where they live, what do they do, their job title, their company, etc. So it's extremely powerful, and it's also trusted by Clay, Anaconda, Hire Easy, Insight Partners. These are like big companies. And it also integrates with like Zapier, Make, etc. So you can automate the hell out of it. So we're going to use it. Okay. And then in his case, he's going to verify the emails using SSM Masters, which is like a platform that I built specifically for people in my community, which is this one. Essentially, he can verify and find emails at scale at no cost, which I think this is like the most amount of value he's going to get, since email enrichment platforms that enrich data and find emails for you are extremely expensive. For instance, if I compare this to another platform, which is an email finder, well, he's going to have to pay like what? For like 5K, it's like $150. There's other ones like Hunter.io. But I shared this platforms multiple times in this channel. You guys already know. Okay, so it's very, very expensive, which is the reason why I built my own platform. So I can remove that anxiety about I gotta pay like $150, $200 for email enrichment, and like members can just get it for free, unlimited. Okay, so in his case, he's gonna use it. We're gonna use another platform, which is probably gonna be an email finder, since I want you to also follow along when I'm building this sort of stuff. And then AI is going to write like extremely powerful copy that are AI generated, but also feel human. So we're going to do something very cool. We're going to use a prompt that I built that's going to draft the entire outreach message. And it's going to be extremely, extremely detailed and personalized to the T. It's kind of like someone literally lives with them in the same house. So it's going to be very, very, very powerful. And then the system is going to plug everything into like an outreach software, which is going to be instantly. Okay, instantly is basically like a cold email software that allows you to send emails at scale, like 200 all the way to like 1 million. I believe you can send all the way to like 1 million outreach message in like a month. And I actually was doing this when I was scaling all the way to like 100K a month. So this is like the outline of the system. Let's just go ahead and build this stuff. First of all, we need to go to LinkedIn Jobs. So I'm just going to go to LinkedIn Jobs. I'm going to show you how you can build a list. And then we're just going to plug it into a system that's going to allow us to take the data and extract the data from LinkedIn. So I'm just going to type in registered nurse. So we already have like 276,000 in the US. That's a lot, right? So let's just go and let's go to date posted past month. I'm going to show 186. Or maybe we can do past week. Yeah, let's do past week, which is still fresh. Okay, so patient safety observer. So there we go. These are all job titles that we want. So that's all we need. Okay, I'm going to go to Apify, and we're going to use Apify to scrape LinkedIn jobs. If you're wondering what Apify is, basically like a marketplace for scrapers. Scrapers are basically just smart tools built by very, very bright engineers and developers that extract data of the internet. As you can see, we can scrape TikTok, Google Maps, Instagram. Like we can scrape literally the entire internet, which is pretty insane. So I'm just going to type in LinkedIn jobs. And the one we're going to be using is going to be a paper result one, which means you put how many contacts you want to scrape, or like jobs in our case. And the way you pay is you pay per result, which is really good. So I'm going to get this one, LinkedIn job scraper pay per result, which is this one. So $1 per 1,000 results. That's very affordable. So the only thing I have to do, I'm just going to copy this URL. That's it. Boom. And then I'll make sure to always scrape company details, okay? The reason why is because it includes additional data, such as the company description, like a couple of things, like the salary, and we're going to need it, okay? Also the region. So I'm going to go to maximum charged results. So you will be charged at most $0, $1,000, $1 per 1,000 results. So I'm simply just going to click on save and start and let the scraper do his job, but error cannot run the actual monthly usage hard limit. So I got to upgrade my account. Let me just do it. Done. All right, done. So we just upgraded it. So I have like $150 here. So there we go. Scraped hit 25 jobs. That's very, very quick, as you can see. And the output is going to be the company address, company description, company logo. So community health center of Sonometry. So it's actually our ideal customer. Because I mean, think about it. They're hiring for nurses, so obviously it's gonna be the healthcare industry, hospitals and healthcare. So we're just gonna wait a little bit while the scraper is getting us the data. As you can see, sometimes it also includes the job poster name, and the job poster name is basically like the hiring manager or the talent acquisition partner within that company. But we don't really care about it because we're gonna use our own enrichment using People Data Labs. I don't care about like the decision maker being here or not because I'm just gonna use my own system. So 75 is already going well. So We're just gonna wait a little bit, and I'm gonna get back to you guys once the scraping is finished. All right, let's see. So we already at 300. So as you can see, the price, 33 cents. The duration is 3 minutes. Sometimes we gotta thank these developers that actually built this sort of stuff because, I mean, back then you wouldn't be able to get this data at all. You would pay thousands of dollars. And there we go, that was done. So scraped requested number of records. Awesome. So what do we do now? Well, simply we're just gonna automate the hell out of it using make.com. So make.com is basically like a no-code tool. As you guys know me, I'm not like NA10 enthusiast or like make.com enthusiast. I'm like pretty much platform agnostic. Whatever makes me the most amount of money and whatever makes me do my job easier and without any friction, I'll go for it, which is like a mental model that I want you guys to also have. Like, don't worry about the tools and stuff, like the platform. Just think to yourself, am I actually making money? And is it the stuff that I'm actually doing is gonna make me money? This is like the greatest KPI. This is like the best KPI to track, okay? Not how many platforms you know. It's whether you are actually closing deals or not, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm simply just going to go to new scenario, right? I'm just going to name this first client reward 5K, okay? And I'm going to go to search apps and modules and make sure I look for Apify. So they recently just changed their logo. I think it's way sexier. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to get dataset items. So get dataset items just means get the data from the last run from Apify. Very, very straightforward. So I'm going to go to settings and I'm going to make sure to go to API integrations. And you see this default API token created on sign up. Make sure to copy it. Boom. And then click on add. Connection type is always going to be Apify API token. And make sure to just paste it in here. Very, very simple. You can obviously name this whatever you want. I'm just going to leave it empty. So there we go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the run, which is this one. And you see the storage, make sure to go to storage and you will see dataset ID. So the dataset ID is kind of like the RAM of the scraper, where the scraper stores the data, okay? So if you want to access that, simply just paste it here, right? Just hard code it. Now, the format is always going to be JSON. The limit is how many records you want to retrieve, how many contacts you want to retrieve. Obviously, when you want to build a system, you don't want to like retrieve all the records. You want to just get one and then basically just build the system. And at the end, you can run everything, okay? So you can troubleshoot as you go. So obviously I'm going to put one in here. If you're wondering what offset means, offset is just like a fancy way to say skip. So if I put one here, I'm going to skip the first record that I have in the output and go straight to the second one, okay? So I'm just going to leave this and I'm going to click on save. And if I run once, obviously I'm going to get the data, right? So clinical nurse, etc. So this is going to be get data. Okay, very, very simple. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the people data labs, okay, because in my overview here, so system scrapes LinkedIn and then it enriches for the decision maker. So all you have to do is just sign up to this platform. It's called People Data Labs. Once you sign up, you're just gonna, they're going to give you like 500 credits, which is absolutely insane, which is something that no enrichment platform actually does. So I'm going to go to login. I already have an account here. I believe I need to, okay. So I'm in the dashboard and you will notice that they have multiple endpoints to call, okay? So endpoints, basically URLs that you will call. So they have the people enrichment, person search, company enrichment, person identify, which is insane. To be fair, scary. So I'm going to go to, this is like their API playground. What I want is person enrichment. And if you click on this key, you're going to see your API key. This is your own API key that you're going to get when you sign up. Now, the only thing that I don't like about this platform is that their API documentation is written by very technical people. It's very confusing. So you do not need to worry about it because I'm going to give you the exact query parameters to go for. So you want to click on this plus button, make an HTTP request. So HTTP, make a request. And the URL is going to be HTTPS API peoplesdatalabs.com v5 person search. Okay. The method is always going to be get. And now we're going to have to put X API key. And what you want to do is you want to go back to your API key here and then just copy it. Okay. So copied, go back, paste this here. And then let me just close all these tabs so you don't get overwhelmed. So there we go. You're just going to put the API key. Now you're going to pay attention to this. Make sure to parse the response. Go to body type, raw. Content type is going to be always JSON. Okay, and you will simply copy this exact curl request using SQL. Like I said, their API documentation is very, very confusing, but I did a little bit of digging, so you don't have to. And the only thing you have to do simply is just put the URL here, the website URL, which is company website. Okay, sweet. And now we're gonna save this. Now, if I run once, so we get an error here. So not found. I believe because we added, because the website has HTTP. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna split based off www, and then I'm gonna get to. Wait, I gotta test this first. Let me test this. So I'm gonna get a set, so tools, which is gonna be a learning experience for you guys to understand, kind of like make.com variables. So get domain. So this is the website. So I want to split this. So split based off HTTP. Okay. And let's see what I'm gonna get. Okay. And then I'm gonna have to split based off www. And then I'm gonna see what I'm gonna get here. Nothing. Okay, so let me just split domain based off www. Sweet. So, okay. And I can get to, but I have this dot here. Oh yeah, I'm gonna add one dot here. Found it. Now I have it. Okay, sweet. So now what are we gonna do is we're gonna get to. So we're splitting based off www dot, and then we get in the second one, which is gonna be the domain without it. So check this out. If I go here, now I don't have it. Awesome. So I'm gonna name this get domain, and then I'm simply now gonna plug the website here. Done. There we go. See? Now it's good. So what kind of data we got? Let me see if you guys can actually see. Wait, I gotta... all right, so my recording paused, so let me just fix this. All right, we're back. So we have the data that we have here, and let me see if you guys can actually see okay, you guys can see everything. I'm gonna go to data and check this out. We got the decision maker, which is this guy. Let me see. So is it the actual decision maker? Talent attraction manager at Centene Corporation. So exactly the decision maker. Is it the right company, Centene Corporation? Yeah, it's this one. See, I told you this platform is insane. So what we're doing here, just to give you some context, we're just querying the domain and job titles, so such as Chief Nursing Officer, Director of Nursing, Clinical Manager, VP of Human. And what we're doing is we're retrieving is based on the job title levels. So Manager, Director, VP, CXO. So the way this works is that, think about it like People Data Labs is like a lead sourcing database. So back then, probably like 10 years ago, probably the owners or like the founders of this website, they managed to download like 720 million leads. And now they built a platform which doesn't require maintenance, by the way, because once you have it, that's it. And they charge people for it right now. So they gathered and downloaded all this data, and they essentially just structured everything. Okay, so when you query whatever website that's on the internet, they're gonna look in their database if the website exists, along with the decision maker within that company. Okay, so that's how it works. So think about it like Apollo when you scrape it. For example, when you scrape Apollo, what happens is you also get the website, the decision maker. So the only thing you have to do is give them the website, and they're gonna give you the decision maker. So that's the exact decision maker. So enrich decision maker. This is way more scalable than actually just Googling decision maker, which is kind of like my method, my hidden method, right? So now we have everything. We have the data. So what do we want to do? We want to find, actually, we want to verify the emails, because the cool part about this platform is it also gives you the email. Let me look. Yeah. Work email. Holy shit. Also the personal email. So MSN, I don't know how they got this. This is very, very interesting. So this is like the fella's personal email. So the next step right now is basically just verify the email. The reason why is because it could be that this guy didn't like pay for his email, and like his email now is invalid or like unannounced. So you always want to verify emails. Okay. Now, in terms of like this member, what he's gonna do is basically just gonna use the SSM master. I'm gonna use another platform because you are watching this and you want to also implement this sort of stuff. So I'm just gonna use an email finder, verify or validate an email. And this is the platform. I'm gonna go to API, get API key, copy, go back, click on add my API key here, save. So work email. Let's see. Validation valid. Just a heads up. If you are using an email finder, sometimes it messes up. So it's not really like accurate. If I put this here, so catch-all. See, told you, it's a catch-all email. If you're wondering what catch-all is, so catch-all versus valid. A valid email address, specific active email that has been confirmed to exist and can receive email. A catch-all email is a server setting where all emails sent to the domain are accepted, regardless of whether the specific mailbox exists. Yeah, see the reason why I gave valid, but we're not gonna nerd out about it. So I'm just gonna name this verify email. And then now let's get into the personalization, okay? So I'm gonna add an Azure from OpenAI, because the next step is basically just writing an extremely powerful copy. Okay, so create a completion. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my Azure API key, plug it right here, and done. Perfect. So the deployment name is going to be GPT-4o. Obviously, you can use any AI model that you want. You can use Gemini, Claude, whatever. Role user content text, and simply we're just going to copy our prompt. Control C and paste it here. Okay, so let's plug in our data here. So context. So the job title hiring for, which is title. Company name is company name. The location, this is the location. Actually, we need to go to, yeah, this is the location, obviously, yeah. Industry. State region. So state, which is, this is the one. And then decision maker job title. This is the guy that we found, which is a talent acquisition manager. Start date, when they actually started. Yeah. Job start date. So we have it. So job start date, employee count, and description, which is description. Okay, sweet. So I'm going to add a condition here only if success, actually, no, only if validation equals to valid. So is valid, is email valid? And then check this out. It's very quick. So let me go to text response. Saw Centene Corporation posted for corporation posted for a clinical review nurse prior authorization in the greater Enid area about 4 days ago with only 25 applicants. I'm going to guess you're probably not finding many qualified prior authorization nurses locally in Enid. So you're either recruiting from Oklahoma City Metro and hoping they'll relocate or considering hiring remote candidates who can manage occasional travel. Neither approach is ideal, especially when time to fill is a concern. You've been at Centene since 2018. You probably know better than anyone where the persistent gaps are in your pipeline. If prior authorization roles in your market like Enid are staying open longer than you'd like, worth a quick intro, takes 15 minutes and might solve a problem you've been dealing with for 15 years. Wow. So essentially, this is what I mean by crazy personalization. And I know you're thinking, Saad, this is such a long outreach message. Well, the reason why is because we're using human psychology based on the person or the decision maker. And let me explain. See, the person is gonna read it and gonna be like, this guy actually looked at my job posting. They know we're in this area. They understand X, Y, and Z. So they're not pitching me. They're diagnosing my exact problem. So they're gonna be like, this is the right guy. And to be clear, guys, length works here because you have a gold mine of data, obviously job posting, decision maker info. So the personalization is going to be very surgical and accurate. The second thing is that this decision maker, we're dealing with like high intelligent B2B decision makers. So their bullshit radar is always going to be triggered. So AI is going to read through like actually how many years he worked in that company and is going to like think and kind of like write an outreach message based on their experience because you're dealing now with like, how do I say this? Kind of like a boomer, okay? Someone who's old, right? So this is the reason why we use the long email. Okay, so this is going to be draft dream email. Okay, now the last step is essentially just adding everything to our cold email software, which is going to be Instantly. So I'm simply going to go to Instantly, and then I'm going to log in. I already have my account here, and I'm going to create a new campaign. Going to name it First Client Reward 5K. And I already have it here. Let me double check if I have my Instantly account here. So create a lead. This is the one. So First Client Reward 5K. So the email is obviously the email. The personalization is the entire copy. The website is the domain that we got, the first name. Okay, then, okay, so we have it in lowercase. So we're going to use a formula. So it's going to be, I believe it's, okay, first of all, I believe it's going to be capitalize. Let me actually check. Let me double check. I'm going to put capitalize and I'm going to test. I'm going to name this example and I'm going to put, okay, let me see. Great. Awesome. And then now what I'm going to do is split based off a space and then get 1. Same thing, get 2. So we're making sure we get in the capitalized name and we're splitting it based off a space because there's like there's the first and last name and between it there's like a space. We're splitting based the space and we're getting 1. For the last name, we're getting 2, okay? And then the company name is company name. We already have it. Sweet. So let's add everything. Done. Sweet. So now I can add personalization. And I have everything here. Excellent. I'm going to add, hey, first name, dash. There we go. And add another one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add sent from my iPhone. Because the irony, this is such a long outreach message, but if you add like sent from my iPhone, like think about it like from the other person's POV. Imagine reading this entire thing and you see sent from my iPhone. We're going to be like, this person literally took time out of their day to actually write this using their phone. In terms of subject line, I'm going to put first name, thoughts. So as you can see, it feels like a consultant. It's not like really like an outreach message, which is the beauty about systematic outbound. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put, for example, 10 here. First one is done. Second one, awesome. So my leads are getting added right here. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's how we essentially just like build an entire system that allows you to personalize at scale using pain signals. In our case, the pain signals the company is hiring. And we also use the people data labs to essentially just enrich. We verified the emails and we wrote like an extremely personalized copy, and we plugged everything to instantly. And there we go. That's the entire system. Now, the only thing you have to do is simply just get out there, take action. I believe in you, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.